So if there's no evidence that Obama was born in Kenya, why do you think Trump said he was born in Kenya?
I think there's two possible reasons, right? One, he might have been misinformed. What's wrong about being misinformed? Many
He
people are
was
Democrats,
informed.
Republicans.
Go ahead.
Echo, what race are you?
Huh?
What race are you?
I'm not going to talk about that. First, I
You
want to
say
talk.
that you're dual
No. I want to
citizenship. You're
firstly talk about
Swiss
your
and
factually
American.
incorrect statement.
I'm just
Uh,
And I talk.
asking just for purposes of clarity here.
No,
You're
but I'd like to
Swiss.
talk about. I'd like to talk about your factually incorrect
he
statement.
said that he's from Switzerland. Like he's probably white
Yeah.
then, right?
Okay, so you're white. Are you a
You
fair
made
arbiter of what is or isn't racist in America?
you made a factually incorrect statement. You said that Ted Cruz was never questioned for where he
I
was
said
born.
that there was nothing on the scale of the birther movement that was an equivalent to Ted Cruz. And
No,
that
but
is
Ted Cruz.
factually accurate.
Listen,
Ted Cruz was
listen.
not hounded for years on end about his legitimacy when running for president.
But we're talking about Trump. Ted Cruz was hounded by Trump in 2016.
Yes, he did do that and then dropped it.
Dropped what? No, he didn't. He dropped it
did
because
drop
Ted
it.
Cruz. He dropped it because Ted Cruz was kicked out of the race because Trump won for the
And he
Republican
dropped
nomination.
it, right. And Obama won twice, and yet he still maintained that belief as recently as 2018.
What do you mean he dropped it? It's confirmed.
He
You're not
stopped
making any
questioning
sense.
whether or not Ted Cruz
Okay.
was legitimate. He maintained
No,
his position of
but
Obama
why would he?
for
Why would he
several
continue
years.
questioning the legitimacy of Ted Cruz if he isn't running against him
He
anymore?
didn't. That's my point.
Because
He did
Ted Cruz
not
wasn't
continue
running
to
for
question
president.
Ted Cruz.
Because Ted Cruz wasn't running for president.
Okay, Obama was president twice, and he still would not concede that he was wrong on the birther movement.
Let's go one step at a time. All right. Was Ted Cruz was born in Canada, right?
Yes.
Right. Ted Cruz. You're saying that there was never any questions about Ted.
I did not say that. Let me be uber
But you're saying that
specific.
he
There was
stopped
not.
questioning
Stop
it.
talking, please. There
No,
was
you're saying
nothing
that
on
he
the
stopped
scale of
questioning
the
it.
birther movement that was an equivalent to Ted Cruz's candidacy.
But
There was no
Wait,
question.
it's
There
not
was there
it's
ever
not
a request for him to
comparable
present
case.
his birth certificate?
Wait,
No,
I have
there
a
wasn't.
It's not a
question.
comparable
How is
case.
it? How is this?
I know because Cruz was treated better.
How
That's
is
why
this-
it's not comparable.
How is this relevant?
Cruz was kicked out the
insofar-
race.
How is this relevant insofar as determining if Donald Trump's actions towards Obama were racist or not?
No, because he was saying that he was attacking Ted Cruz. I mean, he was saying that he was attacking Obama, but not Ted Cruz. That's exactly what you said at the start.
I did not say that.
Yes, you
I
did.
just want to ask a question. So, what is the evidence that Obama was born in Kenya? Let's just start there.
But okay, say that there's no evidence, right?
Okay.
Say that Trump.
So you admit that there's no evidence. Okay.
I
so
admit that I don't
I
have
have a
any
question.
evidence.
Now, one moment. Have you ever heard, like, for instance, so if there's no evidence that Obama was born in Kenya, why do you think Trump said he was born in Kenya?
I think there's two possible reasons, right? One, he might have been misinformed. What's wrong about being misinformed? Many people
was
are Democrats,
informed.
Republicans. No, firstly, you don't know that, right? It's not like it's not like there's a
Wait, but
personal
like,
system.
who? Okay, he's misinformed
Right.
on his birthplaces. He's still
Right.
perpetuating racism because where do you think that misinformation that Obama was born in Kenya is a consequence of? Could we at least agree? Now, one moment.
I agree.
Could we at
I
least
agree.
agree?
I agree, but
if
that
there
doesn't
one,
make him
stop
racist.
f***ing talking. If we could at least agree, right, that the misinformation that existed pertaining towards Obama being born in Kenya was a result of racism. Can we agree
Yes.
to that? Okay.
Yes.
So I have a question. So let's just bring it back to 250 years. Okay. Generations of young white guys grew up in America thinking that phrenology was scientific fact. Do you know what phrenology is?
You mean like the phenotype of the individual?
Phrenology in America during Emancipation era
No.
slavery particularly dealt with, and I'm sure Jaden could give you a much more in-depth depiction insofar as exactly what it was, but what I'm aware of is bumps on the back of one's skull, okay? And white people thought that black individuals had special bumps in their skulls, divots in their skulls, that made them more submissive, okay? And if there was a young white boy that had grown up when this was taught, this racist disinformation was taught as scientific fact, would that young white boy be perpetuating racism, and would they be racist if they were then to take this information, turn around, and act if it was also fact, resulting consequently in more harm towards black Americans?
Right, but there's something that you don't understand. Is
I
that
just
in
want a
that
yes or no. I
scenario,
just want a yes or no. I just want a yes or no.
is what they're doing racist? You mean?
Yeah, like the young white boy that was taught that disinformation that is then using it, which byproduct causes
They,
more harm towards black people.
well, because they're racist in the first place. Yes.
Okay, so in other words, if you perpetuate disinformation that results
No.
harm
That's
towards...
not what I said. That's not what I said.
Okay, sir.
That's not what I
I'm
said.
being so very clear with what I'm saying. I'm so
You are
fucking
being clear, but you're not being clear. You're not being clear with what
I'm
I'm
being so
saying.
clear. All that I'm asking is a yes or no question. Young white boy that learned the disinformation that black individuals have divots in their skulls that make them submissive, that then use this disinformation to perpetuate harm against black people in America.
But,
is that young white boy racist?
Look at
yes
the difference.
No?
But there's a difference in the teachings.
Is that young white boy racist?
Yes, that
yes
is
or no?
that
okay.
is that
so in
scenario
other
is-
words, right?
No, but
if
that's
you accept
it is in the same
disinformation,
scenario.
which perpetuates harm towards black people, you're racist, right? And it wasn't this your argument that it's a possible explanation was that Donald Trump accepted this disinformation that caused harm to black people, specifically Obama?
What? Wait, I didn't get the last part.
Well, isn't your argument that Donald Trump accepted this disinformation, then perpetuated it, that caused harm to a black person by the name of Obama?
Yes, I
So
do
then,
believe
under
that.
a prior,
Okay,
under the
logically.
under the prior
premise itself-
establishments, under the prior establishments that we've made, that perpetuating disinformation that causes harm to black people is racist. You have now, right, logically, been forced to hold yourself to the conclusion that Donald Trump is racist.
The only thing that was forced
perpetuating
here
said
is your
disinformation.
logic in this scenario.
I also reject the premise that he wasn't a racist prior to this insane accusation that he made about Obama. He was sued twice by the Justice Department. He publicly pitched a season of The Apprentice of whites versus blacks. He was sued several times by casinos and moved, moved black workers off the floors of his casinos, of which he was sued in 1993.
It's rather
This
ironic
follows
that
a
you're
pattern
saying
of
this.
behavior. This also tracks with the fact that he called for the death penalty of the Central Park Five in the 1990s. So I don't think this is an excuse or a stretch of the imagination that him pushing harmful rhetoric and ideas around black people is simply a fluke.
I
This is
mean,
a
I can
pattern.
tell you, I can tell you things, for instance, that Trump has done that isn't.
Tell me as a presumably white person how he's better for black America than the black person talking to you now.
And before you answer that question, guess, I have three people. What the hell? Oh my God. What the Okay, what the hell? Okay, sorry. I got a $200 YouTube super chat from Ryan. Oh my God, dude. Now. That's not it, because as soon as I just said that, I got another $100 super chat on YouTube from Amy. Oh my God, Ryan didn't leave a message, but Amy did. Amy says, I appreciate you so much. You've been educating me and most importantly, my brother with these lives. Please take care of yourself. We're sending you so much love. Thank you, Amy and Ryan. Thank you,
Congrats,
Amy
man.
and Ryan. And wait. We're not done. Because we also got a $100 donation from Nicole over on PayPal. Jesus Christ, man. Nicole says, for all the truth you broadcast, thank you. No, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Amy. And thank you, Ryan. What the That is crazy. Thank you, Nicole, Amy, and Ryan. Wow. Everybody, and I mean this. So please, all I want you to do, just spam W's for Nicole, W's for Amy, and W's for Ryan in the chat for at least the next 10 minutes. I want the guests to be able to go in and respond to Jaden here. So just one last time, guys. Thank you. Holy that is mind-blowing. Dear God, thank you guys so much for the love, and we'll go ahead and pass the mic back to Jaden and the guests. Take it away, you guys. And also Amy is spelled with 2 I's at the end, A-M-I-I. So thank you guys so much. Go for it.
By the way, congrats. You must make a lot per month with these donations.
Great observation. Do you want to respond to what I said? You profess to know more about Black America and the Black American struggles.
I'll respond to what you said. Well, first of all, I mean, I don't know if you know, but even today he hosted in the White House, like he was celebrating Black History Month, with
Not
Tiger
really.
Woods. I mean, he was. I mean, he actually made quite an audible speech. celebrating like the
No,
history
he
of
celebrated
black
his
people in the United
supporters.
States.
He celebrated his supporters.
I
Of
mean,
which I would argue, I would
your
argue, I
that's
would
your
argue that people
interpretation.
who he had up are not ones worthy of being
All
celebrated or
right. Well, right.
recognized. It's
I'm
the
gonna give
guy,
you something
excuse
that.
me, he had on one of the influencers that goes on planes and says "Make America Great Again," bitches across the banner. Is that worthy of platforming in the White House?
I'm sure that he hasn't been perfect throughout the people he's hosted in the
He's
White House.
not.
All right, but let me give you something that isn't maybe subject to
Oh
interpretation,
wait,
which you
did he
can't just
also
say.
host like
I'm
Kanye
talking.
West and
I'm
Nick
talking.
Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago when they're
Can you allow
both
me?
proud, self-proclaimed Nazis?
Can you can you
And
allow me
it
to
also does
continue?
follow a pattern of behavior that he's
Yeah.
endorsed and celebrated
Aren't
black
you guys a little
Nazis across the United
hypocritical?
States. I mean, he
Yeah.
did have a full-fledged endorsement of Robinson out of North Carolina, who professed that he was a black Nazi.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like Kanye professes that he loves Hitler. Nick Fuentes in a debate with me said that he would vote for Hitler before he votes for any woman. Like,
right, but Nick
and these are
Fuentes and
these are all
Kanye West
people.
are,
These are all
yeah,
people
they're
that Donald
idiots.
Trump has dined with, and Donald Trump privately dined with him, inviting them into
Firstly,
Mar-a-Lago.
the profile Kanye West was when Trump hosted him at the White House is completely different to who he was before.
This
But I
was
don't
in
want to talk about this
No.
'cause I
2022.
think this
No,
is,
no, 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 no,
I,
no. Wrong.
huh?
Kanye West went on InfoWars in 2021 and was a proud Nazi. They dined in 2022.
Maybe they dined together, but I am certain, right, that that doesn't mean that Trump has believes in any of his political leanings.
Oh my God, would you ever sit down and have a private dinner with two like proud Nazis?
Would I am I against Nazism as an ideology?
That's not what I asked
Absolutely.
you. Would you personally, yes or no, sit down and have a private dinner in your
Okay,
private
okay.
estate with two
Okay,
proud
before I answer
Nazis?
that, can we like get onto like the serious topics? Regarding Trump's racism, I've been trying to say it for about 10 minutes now, but you've kept on interrupting me, the both of
Yes,
you.
please.
Um,
So you're just gonna not
uh,
answer my question, right?
I will, but first, can you at least allow me to talk
No,
about
because
something of
all it takes
substance?
is a yes or a no. It literally just
Okay.
takes one word.
Did Trump? Let me ask you a yes or no
No,
question.
no,
Was Trump?
would you
Yeah, because it
personally
bothers you
at
what
your
what
private
I'm gonna say.
estate? No, it bothers me that you're not giving me a yes or no to a very simple question. Would you dine
All
with
right, but
Nazis?
right, would I dine with Nazis?
Yeah, with proudly self-established Nazis at your private estate. Would you do that? Yes or no?
I mean, preferably not.
Thank you. That's all I
But
wanted. Go ahead.
either way, the point I was trying to make is that Trump, while we're talking about his racism towards black people, he was one of the first people in Palm Beach to make it universal across all the golf courses and the golf clubs in Palm Beach for them to accept black people and be able to eat there and actually have memberships there. Are you aware of that?
Right. And what percentage would you say of those clientele are actually black?
What? What do you mean?
As in, of the largely white people that visit his properties,
Yeah,
that do dine and have memberships, how much of them
yeah.
are black?
By the way, his golf courses, it wasn't only
Like,
his.
I find it so laughable that the only bit of tuppence you guys can cite of his outreach for black Americans have to do with the affluent ones.
Right, but somebody that does that isn't somebody that does that isn't inherently racist.
Someone who
What is his
appeals
interest
to,
in doing
he's
that?
appealing to wealth, not race.
He's not. What are you
He
talking
is.
about? All right.
Good point.
So if you're helping the black community, right? Unless they're from a low socioeconomic background, right? Then you're not actually helping them. You're only helping them for your own interest.
If you're
Even
helping
though it's
just
in their own
rich
interest.
black people, then yes, you're effectively helping white America
But in what way does it appeal to his interests?
because that's wealth. Wealth begetting wealth.
Wait,
Status.
can we also just like point out the fact that there's like plenty of like described racists who will be like, yeah, I'm racist, but like if you're black and you quote unquote carry yourself well, which means money, that they wouldn't mind you. I mean, that's something that we've seen like forever, man. Like even during the time of Emancipation era slavery in America, like there was like quote unquote like house slaves, right? Which were enslaved individuals, which were black, that got like special privileges, right, due to the fact that the plantation owner, right, labeled them as quote unquote one of the good ones, right? So when you try to conceive of an argument where Donald Trump isn't barring, like affluent black individuals in America from paying him to have an incredibly expensive membership at a, very lavish country club, and somehow that disputes the fact that he's racist because he called all black people lazy, denied them housing, called for the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park Five, literally said 3 weeks ago on Hannity that you could racially profile migrants, or say that Obama was born in Kenya without any evidence. It's just a very bad counter argument.
All right. Well, I mean, I love the fact that you're able to beautifully craft realities which have never existed on Trump. It's like you can take, like, for instance, 5-hour dialogues with him, and you take these snippets and then you say, oh yeah, he's called them lazy, right? In a context where he's only maybe called, like, he called maybe an immigrant that was lazy or whatever, right? But
No,
you
he
like
literally said that you could tell the good ones are and the bad ones are. He said this
you're
in
just
an
trying to
interview.
you're just trying to you just
by
want to
looking
craft
at
a
them.
certain you just want to craft a certain
No,
narrative,
I'm
all right?
quoting him.
What? Yeah, but it's easy to quote. It's easy to quote somebody.
Jesus
and
Christ, you're in
continue-
denial. You're a straight up cultist.
No, it's easy to quote somebody from a
Jesus
5-hour
Christ.
dialogue and make it sound like he's just said something
Oh,
absolutely
wait.
horrible.
Have you ever
And why would he
accidentally...
double down on it?
Yeah, for real. He doubled down on it to Hannity. Have you ever accidentally doubled down on racial profiling, sir?
Double down? What do you mean?
Wait, Jaden, didn't Hannity, press him about it? And then he was straight
Yes.
up like, yes, like, you
He's
can't
been
do
asked
this?
about this. He was asked in '97 about this in
About what?
O'Donnell's book. So why would he back that up?
No,
He said,
listen,
"quote I may have
listen,
said."
I understand you guys may think that he's racist thing. I really don't think so from the way I've heard him talk about
What?
black
Hey,
people.
wait. Would you
Today-
agree that, saying...
Today was an example.
Would you say that racially profiling is racist?
All right, but this is the thing. We have completely different
What do you mean,
ideas
all right?
of racial profiling.
Is it or is it not racist?
But all right, give me an example of what you consider racial profiling.
Stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk. What does that mean?
That's a tactic out of New York and several other states that practiced it of racial profiling, of identifying people who may be suspected of a crime based on physical attributes and allowing
Right.
the authorities
Right.
to apprehend
I
and
think-
or cost them.
I think, for instance, that there's a difference between pattern recognition and maybe racial profiling. So let me give you an example, right? If you put your hand in the
This
basket.
guy's literally calling fucking racial profiling pattern recognition. Okay, go for it, man.
No, I'm listen, because honestly, right, I haven't really spoken about that term or whatever. But I'm gonna give you an example of
Then
something.
why
that
are
I
you
can
arguing
understand.
it? Why are you
Huh?
arguing it?
No, because I think
Why
I
are you
understand.
challenging it?
Because I want to try to discuss.
So you've
delve into it.
ascertained in the 5 seconds that you've known about stop and frisk a counter argument to how it's not racist. That's a stretch. I'm quite profounded by that.
Let me
Jesus
ask
Christ, man.
let me ask you a question, right? If you put your hand in a basket, all right, and say that there's 1,000,000 balls in that basket or however many balls there are, and whatever you pick your hand in that basket, like say 20 times, and 16 out of those 20 times, a purple ball comes out, right? You're gonna expect, right, that there's more purple balls that are in that particular basket than there are green or blue ones or whatever else color you want to consider it, right? What I'm saying is that in some cases, in some communities, there are certain communities, not for racial or ethnic reasons, but maybe for cultural reasons, that are committing
Here we go.
different acts to other cultures.
Yeah,
So
are
you're
you
saying that culturally black people are more inclined to committing acts of crime?
What the do you know about black culture, white boy?
Yeah, please tell me.
White boy.
Well, you
I'm
are
a white boy
white. You're
too.
Swiss,
I don't
so
know.
you-
What the
I
That's
mean,
why I
either of
asked
us
you.
know
I
about
gave
black
you
culture.
the
What I find quite
opportunity.
interesting is that you're calling me a white boy, but would you call a black person a black boy?
I
No,
gave you
no,
the
I would not.
opportunity to clarify.
Yeah, you
said
wouldn't.
it
But
doesn't
why
matter.
is it fine to call a white person a white boy and not a black person a black boy?
Yeah, because older white men use the term black boy along the insular alongside many other dehumanizing derogatory terms to refer to black men and younger.
Oh, because you think white boy isn't a
young-
derogatory
young-
term?
wait. Younger individuals that were also black to literally justify human rights violations, enslavement, and can you please point towards one point in American history where there's existed a system of oppression applied to young white men, where older individuals would call them white boys to systemically kill them? And
Well, I mean, I think
eradicate
this
them?
is a system of oppression, right? Because the term white boy.
Oh my God! Wait, do you believe in white replacement theory?
No, I don't believe in
Oh,
white
then
replacement theory.
what kind of
Okay.
systemic oppression against white people exists? that
No, I think that
justifies
I
the
think that white
historical
people.
usage of terms such as white boy
I
to
think
oppress,
I think
demean, belittle one's value to justify a rights infringement.
no, but you're
Also,
the
you
one.
were called that by a white guy.
Oh
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
but
say
also
shit.
that. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
So that's
Also,
not
sorry.
oppressive.
Sorry,
right.
I
But
forgot about that bit.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Do you
Yes.
want to know why? Do you want to know why black people started calling white people white boy or
That
things like
wasn't the
that?
topic of conversation
No,
here.
but it's very
We were
important
talking. No,
because
I don't want you to pivot off that black culture comment. You have assessed to know more about black culture than myself, and I would
no,
rather
I don't
know
know more about black.
what
Okay, so why do you
proclivities are
assess?
there in black culture that would permit one to be more inclined to crime committing.
Well, firstly, in single parent households, which is very prominent across black
So
culture.
that's cultural. Are you arguing
Yes,
that
that
that's
is cultural.
cultural?
Yes, single parent households, I think, is cultural
And why are they largely single?
because for cultural reasons, right? I mean, it's
No, no, no.
they're
That's circular.
what is circular about it?
You're saying it is cultural for them to have single parent households. I asked you why, and you said because it's culture.
Well, I mean, I think culture is a very difficult thing to explain, but okay, I'll try.
Well,
I'll do my
you
best.
profess to know more than I do.
I'm professing to say what I believe in. I'm not certain of anything. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, all right? What I'm trying to tell you is that I think that, for instance, in these communities, I think in single parent households, children are more likely to grow up and not have the certain guidance and might be lean into doing illegal activities or whatever it is because they don't have the right guidance and because they're in a difficult environment. All right, I think that environment it can be also affected by low socioeconomic conditions, but it's also there also has to be a sense of self agency that has to be involved. And I think that in certain households, given that there's these scenarios, that can provoke these crimes, and that's not a coincidence, right? That like I'm not sure about the statistic, but proportionally, if you take in ratio for ratio, there are many more black people that are committing crimes in the United States than any other ethnic
Right.
ethnicity.
Awesome. So first of all, that's not true. But let's break down reasons as to why here, and
What
let's
isn't true?
focus in on the
What part of what I
socioeconomic.
said isn't true?
Let us focus in on the socioeconomic.
What part
First
of
of all,
what I said
suggesting
isn't
that
true?
it's cultural. You suggesting that it's cultural is not true. That
Wait,
there's some
what
kind
part
of
of what I said isn't
biological.
true? What
I'm
part of
trying
what I
to
said
answer
isn't
you. Would
true?
you mind stop talking? That there's a
Right, but
biological component.
I do mind that you make a statement and
Bro,
then don't back it up.
you won't let me answer.
All
You've
right.
suggested that there is a biological component, an inherent capacity for one to be
Biological?
more.
When did I say
Stop talking.
biological?
Stop talking.
No, you're putting words in my
When you
mouth which
say
I
that
didn't say. I'm
something
not
is
gonna let you say
inherent, when
when
you're
the
suggesting something's inherent, then that means it's rooted in your biology. Okay,
no,
but
I'm
that's been
saying
the
no,
argument.
no. Okay, okay, okay. I
Stop.
do not believe that it's biological. I believe that it's cultural.
That
I'm
it's
making it clear.
cultural. Okay. There is no cultural reference that you can make for one to be more inclined to crime committing, for one to be more inclined to being a single household scenario. You're ignoring a greater history of violence perpetuated against black males, of people of which are given longer and more stringent sentences versus white counterparts of similar crimes or the same crimes or even lesser offenses. You're
Mhm.
ignoring the war on drugs. You're ignoring the war on poverty. You're ignoring the fact that redlining has systemically impacted black households in America and have now divvied out a situation which today there have been some 13 cases settled by the federal government of redlining that still impacts black Americans. There's a
Right.
socioeconomic component of that of which you've blatantly glossed over and refused to acknowledge. That
No, I
is
did
not a
acknowledge it.
byproduct of
I did
black
acknowledge it.
America.
I
That
did
is a
acknowledge it.
byproduct of poverty.
I did
Poverty,
acknowledge it.
excuse me, poverty is the root cause of crime, especially
Yeah.
proximity crimes. The poorer you are in closer proximity, the more likely you are to commit a crime against people of similar status.
All right.
Those are
Well,
the facts.
can
That's
I
not
respond to that?
because you are black.
Can I respond to that, or do you want to continue with your 2 hour monologue?
Mr. Swiss Cheese, by all means, go ahead.
Hey, wait, real
Thank
quick.
you.
I'm just sitting back and I'm listening to this, and I just listened and understood everything that Jaden said. I didn't think Jaden was monologuing. I think that, if anything, Jaden was giving an incredibly concise explanation of an incredibly vast topic, and which could be discussed, explored, and thought through for a very very long time. I mean, I feel like an entire like college class that would span a semester, right, could exist discussing like these issues. And the fact that like Jaden will condense the meat on the bone down to 30 seconds or less, and you call that a monologue, it's just demonstrating very strong hints of anti-intellectualism within yourself, and honestly just a disdain towards truth. even when holding to your nonsensical
All
version
right.
of reality, impedes harm. So I'll just ask you to like stop being a baby, okay? Who's the bad guy? Like, man up and, try to, listen
Man,
and
I,
respond
I
to what
mean,
Jaden
I mean,
said.
the arrogance in your discourse is honestly ridiculous. I can't believe the reason I said monologue
You
is
just called
because
it a monologue.
yeah, the reason I
That's
said
being
that
arrogant.
is the reason it was arrogant. It was an arrogant comment. But
It
the
was
reason I was saying
informative.
that, the reason I was saying it is because when you're trying to have a conversation with someone, you were coming across four different points, right? Within the span of your single dialogue, which then makes it impossible to have a conversation
Wait,
because
no, wait, no, you're lying. You're lying because I just listened to Jaden and I could pretty much rehash and respond to what he said. Like for instance, Jaden brought up the fact that you are blaming issues with like a high propensity
yeah, but
towards
that's one
crime
point.
rates. Now, one moment towards crime rates on the culture of Black Americans. The first point that Jaden brought up was that was false. Right? It's not even true that there exists
All
higher
right,
crime rates. The
right.
substantiation for said claim would be the fact that Black Americans account for 45% of exonerations in our criminal justice system. And then Jaden went into explaining various different things in which could be indicative of higher propensity towards crime, such as the existence of systemic racism through redlining, socioeconomic disparities that can exist because slavery and its aftermath, and racism in America in modern day and historically speaking. And then he condensed it down into one main point that poverty is going to be the root cause of crime, particularly
I'd love to
gathered
respond to that.
proximity crime. And that was
I'd love
all
to.
that Jaden said. How come I was able to listen to him and almost like to a T reiterate everything he said because I was actually sitting here listening? But meanwhile, your arrogant ass is just like, oh, that's a monologue and nobody could follow that.
I suppose your intelligence just surpasses my intellectual limits.
So respond to Jaden.
With pleasure. The reason, and by the way, I just want to say to Jaden, right? I didn't mean in any way to offend you or like, anything like that. I'm just
I'm
trying to have a
used to it.
conversation. All right, you don't have to victimize yourself either.
I'm
I'm just
not.
trying to.
That's the fact. I'm used to it.
All right. Um, right. So you were saying that I wasn't acknowledging that Paul really could be a root cause to these things, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. In America, right, and these are certified statistics. I can pull them up if you want. In poor households, right, in white communities, and I'm not saying in any way, right, before you try to call me racist, that white people are in any way inherently better than black people. All right, I don't believe that, and I would never promote that. But I'm saying in other even ethnic minorities in the United States, where there aren't economically developed neighborhoods, there is proportionally less crime rates than there are in such neighborhoods in black communities. That's certified, and I'd love to see what you have to respond to that.
I would like to hear those stats.
All right, so you want me to find them?
You suggested you have them, yes.
I do. I have read them. All right.
Holy. In drug crime cases, 69% of exonerated people were black. Accounting for any disparity that could exist insofar as arrest rates for crimes committed by individuals living in poverty between black people and white people, do you think it's possible that those disparities can be accounted for through exoneration rates? Like
Sorry,
seriously,
sorry.
I'm looking at this in drug crime cases. 70% of people exonerated were black. Okay, so now let's take the average white American that lives in poverty compared to the average black American that lives in poverty, because 70% of exonerations are individuals that are black. It would be like logically entailed that in accordance with arrest rates, that average black individual in poverty is more likely to get arrested for said crime. And when you say crime rates, do
Sorry,
you
sorry.
mean arrest
I'm
rates?
I'm looking for the stats. I'm not following.
No problem.
By the way, by curiosity, would you consider somebody like Ben Shapiro as racist?
Yes. I think the masculinizing of Michelle Obama that he's routinely platformed and regurgitate is a racist talking point, exercises a great degree of misogynoir, which is a word I'd suggest you look up.
Again,
The suggestions and the false premises and statistics that he has presented about black crime, about black single mothers, about black health are not only incendiary, but blatantly untrue and insightful. So, yes, I would.
what about you, Dean?
Obviously.
You would
Fucking
consider him
obviously.
racist?
Well, yeah, duh.
Would you also consider that what I'm saying is racist?
You want to come back when you have an actual argument, or is
Wait.
this just going to be a questionnaire?
Do I think that
No,
you're
I'm-
probably racist? Yeah, I do.
I think you're regurgitating racist talking points. I think
Yeah,
you're suggesting that crime is cultural and not indicative of long-standing, historically systematic
Well,
racist policies
for
is
instance,
racist.
for instance, in France, right? Throughout
Wait, I have a
throughout
question. What
the-
state are you in right now?
Why?
Answer my question.
Why would I have to answer you?
You're not
Because
even
I've
in
answered
America, are
yours.
I am in America,
you? So what state are you in?
but maybe I don't want people knowing where I'm at. No.
You're not
It's
in
a
America.
large state.
Listen, guys. There's 1,000
You're
different.
not.
Listen,
You're not in America, dude. Why,
listen.
so
I
why
could
have
tell you I'm
been
in
LARPing?
Illinois. I could tell you I'm in Florida. There's 1,000 different places where I could tell you I'm in California. Why I could
So,
simply
so
lie
what?
to you
So
on the
what
phone.
state are you in?
But why would? Because
Bro,
you're following my
nobody's
time
gonna
zone, so
find
I'm
your
like,
ass. You don't even have a profile picture. Nobody cares enough for you.
So why? Yeah. So you're not even from America.
Listen,
The fuck are
listen.
you doing?
Under your time zone, I can be under what I told you. I could be in Wyoming. I could be in Illinois. There's many time zones I could be in.
Okay. So I don't even think that you're in America.
I am in America, by the way.
No,
I study.
I don't doubt that because you won't tell us what state you're in.
I study in the U. But I could just lie to you. Why are you doubting that?
Why can't you just be honest?
Yeah.
It's
because
not
you
that.
trust me.
It's
to be
just
honest.
that
So
I
what
don't
state
want
are
to
you in?
share where I'm at.
You don't want to share what state you're in?
I'm in Illinois,
What's the capital
No,
of
he's not.
Illinois?
Chicago,
Why'd you hesitate on that?
because I presume.
You're just presuming the capital of Illinois? Well, it's not.
It's actually not, by
It's
the way.
actually not. I think it's Springfield, right?
Oh, then I'm
Yep.
wrong. Yeah.
So yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I don't
Actually,
live
Jaden,
here.
Philly goof.